And we're on the air. Welcome everyone to 12.3's Z School number 38, 20.38. Today we're going to talk about document generation in CRM. We've done a session on email merging where we can take, create a CRM data, contact data, lead data, and send it to an email and merge it and send out 1,000 emails. You can do the same thing with documents. And we're going to talk about that today. And we're going to cover a few different areas because this is, it just does. For instance, if you used a CRM in the old days, you probably integrated it with Microsoft Word. Word is your document creator. And so you sent your data to Word, and Word, you'd have a template and you'd merge your data into the template, and then you'd print off your templates or whatever you were trying to do. And Zoho will work with Word, but I highly don't recommend it. You'll see why here pretty soon. Zoho gives you a word processing tool called Zoho Writer. Used to be Microsoft Office was kind of predominant as what's called the personal productivity space. They gave you a word processor, a spreadsheet, and a PowerPoint type tool, slideshow tool called Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. Then Google Docs came out with their version of Google Docs, and Zoho has their version of Zoho Docs, which is a bundle of all three. I've also individually, in our little demo system here, I've individually provisioned the elements of Docs. There's a writer and a Zoho sheet, which is their spreadsheet, and a Zoho show. We're not going to talk about those. We're going to talk about the writer. I really, really like it. I vastly prefer it to Word. You can always use Word if you want. Zoho will work with Word, but for a lot of reasons, I don't recommend it. So I think when we're going to do templates out of CRM, we're going to talk about Writer. And so today's topic is how to use Writer, the little bit you'll need to use to do a document. So let's open up CRM. And I think today's example, we're going to create a contract. So it's not something we'll send out to 1,000 people at a time, but we might need to print out a document that is a contract. So we will go to a little setup wrench. Once our screen's loaded here. And we're going to go to customization templates. It's in templates here. And in our previous web school, we did email templates, which is the default. And so we can merge contact data or lead data or a deal data into an email. And then we can send it out. Well, we're going to today go to mail merge, and this is where the document merges are. So we're going to go to mail merge. And we have a couple in here already. And I just want to, these templates actually say DOC and DOCX. If you're a Word user, you know that Word documents used to be saved in DOC files, and then in Word 2007, I believe, they went to DOCX. Just that there's XLS and XLSX. So Zoho's writer tool, its native format is DOC. If I create a document in Zoho Writer, you'll never know I didn't use Word. Mute everybody. So the native format of Zoho Writer is Word. Very highly compatible. So I'm going to create a new template. And we'll use the contacts module. So I'm going to be merging contact data into it. You have to specify what module. If you want to put deal data into the template, you know, like the amounts or whatever, you need to specify deals. And so all of our modules that can be merged, we did dogs in a previous session. This is a demo system. It's getting kind of messy, but we're going to do contacts. And I'm going to call this contact contract, just to see how many times I mispronounce that. I can put them into a folder, and that just, if we have a lot of templates, it helps us organize them. So I will actually create a new folder called legal, and we will put our contracts in there. And I can share this with other people if I want them to be able to use it. Maybe I'm the corporate lawyer and I don't want people issuing contracts that aren't me, but we'll make this available to all users. And then you can put a description in, that's optional. Skip that. Zoho comes with a bunch of canned templates here that you can use if you want. I'm going to pick, and maybe we have a contract in here. Probably don't. So we'll just pick blank. Select it. And you'll actually see here now, I've left CRM. CRM's still up, but I've opened up a new tab here, and I'm in Zoho Docs, and Zoho Docs is the suite. It's like Microsoft Office, trademarked. But you'll see I'm in Writer. It's right there in the URL. I'm in Zoho Writer. This is what Zoho Writer looks like. One of the things I like about Zoho Writer, I'm going to spend a few minutes on just using it, is that unlike Word, and I'm going to contrast this with Word, Word has a large, what they call a ribbon across the top with all kinds of buttons for you to click on, and a lot of stuff in there you won't use. Zoho has the same thing, but they bury it under what they call the hamburger here. This little 3-line thing is called the hamburger, and these are all your tools. I'm going to close the hamburger for just a minute. I want to show you kind of how contextually aware this can be. So I'm just going to type in a sentence. And if I highlight a piece of text, Zoho figures you must want to do something with it. And so it brings up a little toolbar that's kind of contextually aware. Like, oh, you want to bold this text, or you want to make it red. Say, yes, I do. Change the font, center it, link it, things like that. So anyway, you only see like the tools you need to do the job you want. But if you want to see all the tools, click on the hamburger. So what I want to do is I'm going to quickly make a contract. Now, contracts are very wordy. You're not going to sit here and watch me type 1,000 words. I'm just going to put in whereby in as much and henceforth, because all contracts have those words. And so this is our contract, and it's done. But I'm actually going to put some fields in here now that I want to put in, like party of the first part. And this is where I'm going to start dropping in my contact fields. So I'm going to go down here to automate, little automate button in my tools area, and it says merge template. And in here, I have many data sources here. I could merge data from books, from desk, from all kinds of things. I launched this thing from CRM, so it's assuming I want to use CRM. And all of my contact fields are now listed here. So here is the full name, and I will just click on that, and it puts in some code here that says contact's full name. Customer company name. So here's the account name, and maybe I want to drop in the email. So you get the idea. There's the email. Now, what's kind of cool is if I'm on a child record, like a company, a contact, but I want to drop in the company's address. Maybe the contact works remotely and he's in a different state, but I want to put the company address here. I can go up to a parent record and get that information. I'm going to scroll down here. These are all my contact fields. But as I keep going down, a lot of contact fields in our system. You can see all kinds of, here's the account data. So we know in Zoho, most contacts are connected to an account. So I can get the account data from above the company. And I think it's called the billing address. There it is. Street, we change it to street. And then I'll put comma and I'll put in the billing city, and I'll put in comma and I'll put in the billing state. So we have that line. You can actually drop in stuff like some subform fields, subfields. I don't know if we have any there. So if this contact, if you remember way back in CRM here, a long time ago, we set up a module called dogs, and we could list out all the dogs that a contact owned is in a subfield. And I could actually come over here and drop in that whole section. Select them all, and that's going to be a, I'm not going to do that. So here's our template. It's really ugly, and we can customize it further. You can add your own fonts. I'm going to do a couple other things just to show you that this is a full-featured word processor. So you can go to the insert section here and you can insert an image. I can upload a picture. I'll put in, to find it, but I have my our new corporate ID here, I think. Nope. Oh, I'll just drop in this picture. Quit laughing, Bob. I can drop in a table, pick in how many rows and columns, and there's my table. I can then format my table. If I go over here, I've got lots of table formats. If I like a theme like orange, there's all my orange themes. And so there's a lot I can do here. I'm going to say done. Actually, you might want to test this. So I'm going to go back to automate. I'm going to go back to merge template and so I should go through a couple of sections here. The output section. So the way this works is this is a template. It says template at the top. Your template is a bunch of text and a bunch of code. But then when we run this thing, we're going to actually take data out of a CRM contact and we're going to drop it into the template. And doing that is going to create a new document. And so it's asking us down here, what do you want to do with that output? I can send it via email. I could send it for sign. We'll talk about Zoho Sign. I could save a copy to a folder. So I'm going to configure that. And you can do 1,000 merges a day. This is a brand new feature that just came in, like a week ago. This is worth mentioning. I'm not real happy about it. It used to be unlimited merges, and 1,000 is fine for most people. But if you're a very, very large organization, so you have 1,000 users, it means they get to each do one a day. I think that could be a problem. So there's no, they do have a way to add it, but it's not easy. There's no add-on you can just buy. And then you can say, how do you want to save the file that gets created? I can save it as a writer document or as a Word document or as a PDF. Again, if it's a contract, you might not want it to be edited later. And so we'll save it this way. All right, so we're done. Let's just be done. And it closed writer. We're back in CRM. I now have a mail merge thing here called contact contract. So let's just get out of here. Let's go to a contact and let's write a contract. As soon as my contacts come up, I need to find someone who has an address, and most of these records are kind of junky and they don't. So let's pick Christopher McLeod here. The reason I'm picking him is with some sample data that Zoho gave us. I'm hoping that they actually put some address information in here. So we have contact information, but remember, his company is Rangoni of Florence, so I have to go there to see if the address is up in the company. If not, we'll put an address in. Yep, looks like there's something there. Middle Island, New York. Okay, so let's go back to Christopher's record. I've built my template. Now I'm ready to run it. And you go to the contact record. This is one way to do it. I'm going to show you a couple others. I might want to send him a contract. And so to do that, I go to the 3 dots. I do a mail merge. It's about halfway down. And it says pick a template. So now here's where what I talked about 15 minutes comes into play. It says, do you want to run this in Writer or in Word? And you do have the option for Word, but it says supported only in Internet Explorer 6 and above. Because Word is a Microsoft product, you got to use a Microsoft browser. In my experience, there's a lot of versions of Word out there. It will support Word 2010, 2013, 2016, 2019. There's also 32 and 64-bit, and then there's all these different browsers. And I think if you're the person responsible for setting up these templates, you'll drive yourself nuts. Someone will have a Word for a Mac and it might not work right or something. So I just like to use Zoho Writer. So we have to pick our templates here, and these are my folders. So here's my legal folder, and there's my contract. So we'll pick that. We'll do a merge. It's going to open our template. It's going to show us the template. You actually have the chance here to put a note in here and say, herewith. So I can actually modify, and if I hit update template, it will save that and use it on all future templates, or this could be a one-off. But I'm going to go to my hamburger. Oops, it was on its way to popping up. I'm going to go to automate, and I'm going to go to complete merge. Actually, I'm going to click on merge template here. I just want to show you all your options. So under finish, I have a save and proceed, and our option here is to save a copy to a folder. So I'm going to say save and proceed. Now I have a whole bunch of options here. This is what I wanted to show you, is I could preview it just to see what I have. I can merge this as a new document. I can start merging, and one of the things I could have done, I'm going to do it next, is I'm going to grab 10 records and I'm going to run off 10 contracts. I don't want to have to do these one at a time. And I can also schedule this to happen at midnight. For some reason, I want to put special paper in the printer. So I can preview it here. I'm just going to run it. And it's pulling records from CRM. It's creating the document. It's actually creating a document. And we get another tab, and this will show Mr. Christopher McLeod here, Rangoni of Florence, and there's his email, and there's his company address, came from the company record. Ooh, we got some questions in chat. I'm going to take those. What fonts are available? Any on your system or specific to Zoho? Good question, AJ. We'll come back to that. You can download any font. I'll show you how to get fonts. It's funny because I was using, I was doing this last night for me, and I had more fonts on my production CRM system than this system has. This is a demo system Zoho gives us, which is why I can do things like dogs, and I don't care. So it is interesting. I had more fonts on the my system that I was using last night. Good question. So here's the document, and of course, I can distribute this document, and there's things I can publish it to a website. I can email it to someone. I can actually post it to a WordPress or to my Blogger site. I can upload to Zoho Sign or DocuSign. This is Zoho Sign right here that were created in Word and changed to Writer Docs. Yes, Catherine, I'll probably won't do that today, but I'll say you can. You're probably going to have to do some editing and jostling, but you can copy, paste, and throw the whole thing in there. I'll try to do that. I can also just download this document, and finally, I can print the document. Also mark it as final. One of the things, a couple things about Zoho Writer, getting back to Zoho Writer, it saves on every keystroke. You'll notice I didn't have to do any. In Word, you have like a 10-minute autosave. This is all your changes are caught up. If it isn't, it'll tell you when it was last edited. And if I make a change here, let's see, it says saving. I just type the letter O and it's saving. And then it tells me all edits have been saved. And so every time I'm typing here, it's saving, which I think is really nice. You can't really lose any work. And then finally, there's this area of 3 modes of a document. As you compose it, you send it out for review. People can comment on it, make changes, and then you can distribute it, which is what all this is. You publish it, post it, print it, send it out for signature. There's a couple other things in here. Zia is artificial intelligence, and she's going to yell at me. Tells me there's all kinds of information here about like what grade level I'm writing at, how many cliches I've used, how many passive sentences. Tries to up my writing game a little bit. And then to answer Catherine's question, way up here in the gear are my fonts, and this is my font library. Don't know what happened there. Oh, there they are. So these are the fonts. We just did a new corporate ID, and our font now is called Lado, and there's 2 Lados here, Lado and Lado 2. Can't tell the difference. So we have it, but I can also go to the gear, go to fonts, and it says custom fonts. I can go, oh, that's going to make your own. Sorry, I didn't want to do that. I haven't never done that. I'm going to go to the font library, and at the bottom, oh, this is very different to me. On mine yesterday, I was able to go download a font. I went, there are font forges, they're called, and there's a lot of free fonts out there, and you can download them and bring them in. A lot of these are support Turkish. Okay. Let us go back to Christopher's record. I'm going to refresh it. If all was done properly, sorry for the delay, folks. Sometimes when you share screens, Zoho, there's a, under attachments here, none of these are today's. So where did he put, I said to put that document into a folder. Let me look at my documents folder. All right. put it somewhere because I told it to put it somewhere. Let's do a file. Oh, let's go look at our options here. There's a document history. I can download this. You'll see I can download it as a Word, as a PDF, as a rich text, as an EPUB. View all documents. I'll do that because I'm curious where it put our document. It should have created it. That's it right there. It just put it in writer in my documents. All right, so I did something wrong there. I know there's a way to put it in his record because if I go to his record, there were some things there from May. I didn't set something up right. I apologize for that. But there's some documents here, attachments. Should have been in here. So the last thing I'll show you here is, say I have I don't know, holiday cards I want to send out. I go to, and I want to do many. Pretend that template just has our signatures on it, a little message or something, but we want to put their first name on it. So I want to merge it, but I'll take a bunch of my contacts here. I'll grab them all. There's 19. And under my three dots again, I can do a mail merge. I could have unchecked a couple if I didn't want to send them something. So again, I'm going to pick my contract. I'm going to do a merge. It's going to bring up the template. I want to modify the template just a hair and say happy holidays. If I hit update, that template gets permanently saved. Otherwise, it's just for now. Still waiting for my hamburger to come live here. Had to make a save, and then it has to just load up those 19 contacts. Can take a second. So when I go to automate, and I complete the merge, and I start merging, I'll run it. And this is just slightly different. It's merging the data into the documents. It's going to create 19 documents. And here's the first one is Sean Connery. I'm going to get a little thing over on the side here. I should, with the names of all 19 people, and I can view each one. I guess it's doing them all. There's Tanya Harding. There's Joe Broker. Christopher. So it's merging them all. It did them all as one large document. Must have been a setting I had again. These people are still merging. There's Mitsui. Usually I have a little thing. If I set it up as 19 separate documents, you'll have a panel over here and you can click on each one to see how it looks before you distribute them. So to summarize, we created the template in contacts by going to the wrench and then going to templates and picking mail merge. Email templates are slightly different. They don't use writer. They just use an email template builder within CRM. And these are all my mail merge templates, and I can have them broken down by folders. By the way, folders can, I can go in here and set who can see them. You can go into these folders, pick the sharing rights. If I only want certain people to see it, I can go into my users here and pick off just the ones that are going to be able to use it. So you can have, some security on them. If I go to my contract here and I want to edit it, there's a little editing tool. You have to go over here to edit. And I did want to show you one last thing. What if you want to put your name on here? This is a contract and two parties have to sign it. I should have mentioned this before. So Down here is party of the second part. And if I go to the hamburger, waiting for it. There we go. So we saw under automate where we can put all the fields. These are all the contact fields, and not only the contact record, but the account record above it and any sub-related list below it. But even farther down here, had I kept going, this is account data. And then if I keep going further, there's if there was a vendor on the record, we haven't really talked about vendors, who that person reports to. I think we talked about that a long time ago. Users. So my username is Homer, and I can put, ooh, that was a mess. Hold on. Little search button at the top. So I'll say user. Put my first name in there, put my last name in there, put my email address. So I can sign the document with my information. If another user in the company were to use the same document, it would drop their information in it. So you have user data as well. And that's it. I wanted to put that in there. There's some advanced stuff in here. We'll leave that out for now. Does anybody have any other questions? I will stop recording. Thank you for attending. We'll do Zoho Sign if we haven't done that. That's the next step for this. Once you create a document, you probably want to send it out for signature, and you can mail it. But of course, these days people send out e-sign, which is this option here. And talk about that some other time. Okay, I'm going to stop recording.